Welcome to our MIC monthly meditation. My name is Scott Quinn. Thank you so much for joining us today. And we are so blessed to have with us my friend Kathleen Denison, who will be offering our meditation tonight. Kathleen received her master's in applied spirituality from the University of San Francisco in 1979. And her background includes teaching, spiritual direction, prison chaplaincy, and counseling. She's a certified clinical hypnotherapist and a gifted teacher with a visionary commitment to the development of unique healing tools, combining spirituality and guided imagery. For the past 20 years, Kathleen has used guided imagery with groups and individuals and has composed healing music to accompany these meditations. She has a passion for healing people and helping them connect to their own inner spiritual resources in order to experience well-being and joy in their lives. She's the originator of the Finding Healing from Within process, which has been taught in the San Francisco Bay Area and other parts of the country. And you can read more about her or arrange for a one-on-one session with her through her website, findinghealingwithin.com. And I am so grateful that she agreed to do our meditation today. And I know that you're going to be blessed by her. I adore Kathleen, and thank you so much for being with us, Kathleen, and for leading us in our meditation.
Thank you, Scott. It's great to be here. Hope everyone can hear me well. So I'm going to start by talking about some phases of transformation. And I thought, so that I don't ramble, I'm going to just go through and present on the share screen here what I'm going to be talking to you about. And you can follow along. It's only going to take about 7 minutes, and then we can talk about it at the very, very end. So I'm going to just present this, and then I'm going to do the meditation and lead you in that. And then we'll have much more time for sharing, which is where the richness, I think, really comes from, as you all know. So according to one of my mentors, his name is Eugenia Oganova, there are 3 evolutionary cycles or phases of transformation that are found in our universe, in the galaxies, the solar systems, planets, and in ourselves. And these rhythms or cycles can last a few years or many years, depending upon our own growth and development. In order to grow, we cannot escape these cycles. And when we resist them, we refuse to grow in the way our soul is summoning us. And we will have to learn the lesson again, perhaps at a deeper level. So what are these 3 phases? The 3 phases of transformation are disruption, the void, and expansion. And they always occur in that particular order. So disruption is the phase when things are disrupted in our life and we're shaken up. We experience something cataclysmic that threatens our former sense of self and our old conditioning. The catastrophe could be the loss of a loved one, a death, a divorce, a health crisis, a change of job or location, a change in our life circumstance, or a financial loss. It's not something we usually welcome. Most often, we tend to resist it. Something breaks apart and is shed so that our true identity can emerge. We are invited to come to a truer understanding of who we really are and to let go of what no longer serves us. Our consciousness is wanting to break out of its limiting beliefs or conditioned understandings and responses in order to find our true self. What happens is considered catastrophic from the ego's perspective. But in actuality, it's a natural process of growth. It's as if our soul is saying, come on, we need to let go of this. So according to Eugenia, these events are not in any way a punishment. They're not because we did something wrong. They're not because we're failing. They are literally a means to get us to see who we really are so that we can shed what doesn't fit. So the sole purpose of those disruptive phases is to break apart the old identity. So the next phase is the void. And in the void phase, there's a lack of order and it's a time of uncertainty. It's the calm after the storm, for the disruption has passed, but nothing remains the same. There's no clear sense of direction or clarity. And we can't go back to what we knew because it doesn't exist in the same way. However, there's no clear path forward either. So we are in a void space. It feels like nothing's happening and we can't make it happen as much as we want to. So it's a being phase rather than a time of action. And again, according to Eugenia, it's very important that you sit in the void. You must actually just be in it, not do it, not fix it, not try to get out of it, but sit in the void. In the human sense, that means you must be okay with not knowing and learn to tolerate uncertainty. Because if you try to get out of it prematurely or you try to know prematurely, then you only prolong the void phase. You can miss the whole point of the void phase, which is actually to help build your own inner authority. So the void owns our inner navigation, and it's a time of letting go. The void phase requires radical trust rather than trying to make something happen that isn't in alignment just so we feel like we're doing something. We can all relate to that, right? When we trust, synchronicities show up in our life and we get clearer about letting go of the old and listening for the new. And then the third phase is expansion. After we're in the void phase, we have recharged and have built up energy for what's next in our lives. And we have the energy to put the next steps into action. But this is done from a truer and more aligned place. We begin to apply what we have learned or intuitively trusted. And during this phase, we need to listen very deeply to ourselves so that we know which actions are now aligned with this newer self that has gone through the disruption and the void phases. As Eugenia explains, the action could literally be actions of doing something, but it could also be resting. It could be creating space. It could be listening or drawing a boundary and saying no. All of those things are still considered as actions. So it's very important to trust yourself with a capital S and listen so that your inner self is the part that's driving you forward, not the should, not the whatever might be happening externally. So in the expansion phase, we're exercising our true authority and true power, and we have new energy and show up in our inner world and the outer world in new ways. So by doing this, we're contributing to the larger whole through our own inner transformation and what unfolds out of it. Okay, so with that background, sorry, I got a little light on me here. I want to introduce you to the meditation that I'm going to do, which is called, What Do I Need in My Life Right Now? And before I start the meditation, I want to talk about different ways of doing imagery. And for example, if I used to ask myself, my inner self, that question, what do I need to do in my life right now? Or what do I need in my life right now? Maybe I'd get a sense. I don't see when I image. A lot of people do. Probably 50% of you do. I don't get a visual. I might imagine, let's say all of a sudden the image, the imagination image comes to me of, let's say, sitting behind or underneath a shady tree. That's where I am in my life right now. I'm not sure all of what that means, but that kind of fits. And all around, it's very sunny and really hot out. Okay, but I'm not in that heat. That's an example of me intuiting something. It has a visual sense because I'm describing it to you visually, but I'm not seeing it visually when my eyes are closed. Is that making sense to you? There's a difference here. And for some people, it might be a more auditory experience. It might be even a physical sensation, like I'm feeling really tight, or tight in my heart, or something is going on that's kinesthetic. There's a sensation in my body that's giving me some information, and I'm not going to find it in any kind of visual at all. Trust whatever you experience, because that's how your inner self speaks to you. And the last thing I want to say about this meditation is, if we want the divine to meet us where we are, we have to be home where we are. In other words, we can't be in someone else's meditation or want to do it like they do, thinking it's better. We need to be true to ourselves and be exactly where we are. And that's where the divine meets us, with that unconditional love and acceptance. Okay? So, given that background, we're going to start the meditation. So just make yourself comfortable and close your eyes. And just begin to let yourself relax. And simply become aware of the rhythm of your breathing, your breath moving in, and your breath moving out. And imagine that the area around you is being surrounded by a gentle light. And you are actually surrounded by a gentle light. And this light conveys to you a sense of love and healing. And imagine it begins to swirl around your entire body, relaxing each part of you that it touches. Imagine that each part of you is being touched with a presence that is loving and healing. And breathe in this loving and healing energy. Just take it in. And exhale any tension in your body. Exhale any anxiety or any fatigue. And then experience that this light, this loving and healing energy, is larger than you are. And in a very real sense, you are in this energy always. And as your chest moves up and down with each breath, feel this loving and healing energy moving you. Feel it breathing you. And know you are being sustained by a presence that is loving and healing even when you are not aware of it. You have only to relax into it. Now ask yourself the question, where am I in my life right now? This may or may not relate to the phases that we talked about earlier, but it also could. So where am I in my life right now? Just allow any images, feelings, forms, or sensations to emerge in response to this question. And simply observe what you experience. Being as open to it as possible, allowing it to just unfold. Just allow that image or sensation to emerge, knowing that you can understand it at a later time. So notice any colors, shapes, or textures. Become aware of any sounds or smells. And notice any feelings you might have in response to what you imagine, see, or sense. Now reflect for a moment upon what this particular image or shape or sensation might say to you about where you are in your life right now. Now enter more fully into this experience by imagining that you can actually become this image or sensation. Just enter fully into it and experience yourself as the image or the shape or the form or the sensation. and notice what it's like to be this image and how it feels. And if there's more than one image, you can enter into the other one as well. What's it like to be this image and how does it feel? And as this image or sensation, notice what it is that you need that would be healing for you. As this image or sensation, what is needed that would be healing for you? Then imagine that the light, the loving and healing energy enters your imagery and brings you exactly what you need that is healing. And allow yourself to receive, really receive this healing from the light. And for whatever else enters your meditation in a way that is healing and right for you. And take all the time that you need to fully receive this healing energy that is there for you right now. And then only when you are ready, taking all the time that you need, you can gradually begin to bring your awareness back to your present surroundings. And if you'd like, you can jot down a couple things you'd like to remember from this meditation. But take all the time you need. So I think we can go ahead and stop the recording and open it up for sharing when people are ready.